Welcome to the Re-Entry Archive. Grab this piece of earth and come with me. Salvia Divinorum Experience Report, taken from erowid.org. I got some extract fortified leaves from a friend. Enough for 4 hits. 2 for me and 2 for my wife. I decided to go first and then report back to decide if it's good to take or not. After the first hit, I didn't notice much, but I held it in and got the second one ready. I remembered that I was supposed to torch it real good, and so I did that and inhaled the second hit. Before that was over, I started noticing some psychedelic effects. I remembered that was as far as I'd gotten the first time. But after I inhaled the second hit, I could tell I was going further this time. The smoke was still in the air when a huge, loud, rushing pulse wave. It was like whoosh. Salvia kind of works in levels like that for me, I guess. It was like whoosh, and I'm on the next level, and whoosh, I'm on the next, and then whoosh, I come back. I couldn't sit up anymore. I fell back against the couch, and my body felt all drugged, kind of like anesthetic, because I couldn't feel any pain. I was in the reporter mode, trying to communicate with my wife what it was doing to me. I said to her in a voice that sounded distant and loud, with lots of reverb and echo, "Whoa." First thing it does is it makes the room start moving. In the smoke that still hadn't cleared, the lighting of the whole room had changed, and the room was starting to tear itself apart at various places, where the shadows and the smoke were cutting at the walls. And then everything was sliced up into pieces, and it was all zooming towards me. It was the world, sliced up into 1 billion pieces, all laid out in front of me. One of them was being offered to me. A voice that I didn't really hear, but was communicating through pure, psychic feeling. Such a powerful feeling that I was absolutely sure it was not coming from myself. It was telling me that this was my piece of the world, and I should take it and do what I will with it. This is the true nature of all existence. I was shocked. I was almost yelling, "Really?" I hadn't yet taken the piece that was being offered to me. Didn't really know how, but before I could ask, I was told to put my arms in a kind of C formation. The Salvia spirit or voice, presence that was talking to me had a lot of attitude, kind of just smacking me upside the face with the great truth, and telling me so simply exactly what it is in a matter of seconds. It made me feel stupid for not knowing all along. I could kind of feel it yelling to me, "Grab this piece of earth and come with me and I'll show you. You silly human consciousness. You'll never know everything." And I had the attitude of, "Oh yeah? Well, I can handle any of this psychedelic trickery. I'm in it for the truth. Who are you? What can you show me?" Now, I'm not going to lie and brag and tell the story like I wasn't secretly scared. I was damn scared, believe me. So I put my arms around this slice of the earth that was being offered to me as mine. I was still sitting down, but by doing this, I almost felt like I was standing. It didn't work the first time. It's kind of like puking. It doesn't come up on the first heave, but there on the second heave, and I totally melted into it. I was gone for a moment, but soon I found myself in the next level, and so after I was sucked in, I got to see how it works in the spirit world. Every soul that's gathered around this planet has a piece of it, to make of it what they will. They make changes by injecting themselves into the living creatures of the earth to carry out whatever their mission is. So I saw the planet as my soul sees it, a warm ball of potential, which currently was looking kind of grey and polluted in lots of places, but not black. So there's hope, right? It kind of looked oil spilled, but we all still have a piece of it. I'm on the couch, leaning back heavily, no doubt in the Salvia trance. I feel almost as if I'm lying on my back with all my limbs out, the limbs of my soul, and I'm staring up at this huge ball of liquid energy that is our planet. I'm kind of swimming in it, paddling my arms and legs as I try to make it spin in the right direction. We're all out there paddling on this planet, and hardly anyone realizes it. So they're all paddling in weird opposite directions and threatening to throw the planet out of alignment with their ignorance. At this point, I had the feeling that everyone should smoke salvia, so they can all know like I know. I started feeling like I had figured everything out, and I was really getting to a higher consciousness. I was feeling like I know everything. I started feeling altitude rise inside myself, kind of proud. I was here where I shouldn't be, smoking the herb I shouldn't smoke, and knowing what I shouldn't know. But I should know, and I do know. I was feeling kind of sinful even, the taboo of eating chocolate, or the kind of rush I would get from drinking from the fountain of youth. I jumped off the planet at some point, whoosh. I was still with my back to the stars and facing the earth, watching it get smaller. Just watching the earth, feeling like I was flying and on fire. It was at that point I noticed I was still on the couch. I was still pretty far away. My wife was there looking at me, asking me how it was. I felt like I had this really evil look on my face. I say this because I could see my own face. I said the following words: "It's great. Go ahead. Take yours. Take your peace. Take it." I felt like I said it in the way my friends tried to get me to take pot in my early days. Like it's all bad and stuff, and you'd be cool by doing it. But at that point, I was the ultimate cool. It felt great, and I wanted her to see what I was seeing. It was all so real. I actually thought that if she smoked it, she would instantly be there with me, and we could go flying around the galaxy. I was flying in Earth's orbit. It really felt like the trip was going to last for days, but time totally didn't matter. Even though my wife was right there as a reference to actual existing time, I was totally deceived by Salvia. Right then, she started to take her hits. I saw her start to melt into the section of the earth like I had done, but the effects were just starting to wear off for me, so that's all I got to see. The voice was still in my head and talking to me, but more had the attitude of a friend on the phone who doesn't like talking anymore and is looking for ways to end the conversation. I was in the role of, but wait, what's this about? And about what? Wait. The questions were being answered, but the voice was becoming softer, to the point where I kind of answered the last couple of questions before I realised I was talking to myself. I started to realise that time was stuck, that I was creating my whole reality by the synapses in my brain. and if my imagination ceased to function, time would cave in, and I would really have nothing at all. I felt claustrophobic for a moment, as the room kind of shrunk around me, and time froze into nothing at all. I looked to my wife, but she was completely frozen. I tried to ask her something, but she was on Salvia herself by this time, which I had completely forgotten for some reason. She didn't move, so I was stuck, but trying not to panic. I calmed myself and tried to think rationally. At some point I remembered the drug that she had taken, and I had taken. I saw that millions of beings on this earth had taken it throughout history. I saw them in a line as though they were sitting on an infinite couch to the left and to the right of us. I stopped being panicked about the idea that my wife isn't real, and that she's just imaginary. The thoughts were so scary and fake and gross that I just rejected it. It was just the coming down heebie-jeebies, I said to myself, and proceeded to wait. Waiting helped. Eventually, she started moving her arms in strange angles, but not the same as mine. I tried to stand up, and it was kind of hard. I tried to do my arm movements, but I pretty much knew it was over, and I wasn't going to get sucked in. I didn't know how long it was supposed to last, or if it would come back all of a sudden, but it didn't come back. After a few minutes, my head had pretty much cleared up, and my wife came back to reality. Then I realised I'd probably messed with her trip by trying to talk to her and ask her questions while I was coming down. I guess I was scared. I wasn't really scared until the end. I had no trouble getting out of reality, but I just didn't think I could go back to normal life after being outside like that. Salvia talked me back into it though. All the questions I asked about how this couldn't be real, and it's so lame if I'm the one creating my own life. Somehow, Salvia told me that's the way it works. I'm creating my wife, and she's creating me. And in that way, we are separate entities, but we exist as one. When I run out of ideas, she'll think of something. Reality won't cease to exist after all. I felt if she hadn't been there next to me, also smoking salvia, I could have been completely lost. The words I was saying out loud to rationalise my re-entry into this world didn't make sense at all. I couldn't describe in words the infinite loop of me smoking, being necessary to her smoking, being necessary to me smoking, being necessary to existing. But it was all exactly the way it was supposed to be, or it wouldn't have worked. That was the message Salvia left me with. For a moment, it all made sense, and I totally understood why everything had to be the way it was. But right after it all left, I couldn't make sense of those words. It just slipped away. The basic message that me and my wife are obvious soulmates could never be forgotten though. It would have not have worked without her there. I know you're supposed to use a sober sitter. Maybe that's why I felt evil when I told her to take it, even though I was still tripping. I felt like I knew everything, and that she should know everything too, because it's our right. As long as I've got synapses, I'm going to stimulate them and see what I can see. Using drugs is the right of every human, and I feel sorry for all the poor people in the world who can't afford drugs. They should have one of those, just 70 cents a day can keep this kid from stealing your CD player to buy drugs commercials. And I'd donate. They'd send you pictures later of your kid, all strung out and happy and stuff. It would be great. Sometimes things break. Objects, dreams, relationships, even our human body can break. This is a simple fact of nature. But when objects break, we are suddenly able to see them from an entirely novel perspective. The inside becomes the outside, and their pieces are rearranged and spread out, such that we see them anew. Witnessing the breaking of an object can be a difficult or even painful process, but sometimes there is value in seeing an object break. We come to realize what it meant to us. We come to see the constituent parts for what they really are. We come to find out whether we have the desire to take the time to rebuild, or whether we will leave it broken. This traveller was offered a fragmented piece of the world. This powerful encounter may symbolise the archetype of the sacred task, a righteous duty through which one discovers their own unique purpose. After such an encounter, the tasks left to the traveller are to articulate and integrate this piece into their lives. They may wish to ask themselves what the piece symbolised. How did they feel when they finally took hold of the piece? And what did it feel the piece wanted from them? And what did they want from it? Is their task to take this piece and to rebuild? Or is it their job to greater understand that which has been broken?